Hello everybody, my name is Stefan. I'm heading the German office of QSurf, and I'd like to address two questions that have been raised by some of our clients. The first one relates to the transitional provisions of the European Medical Device Regulation, which are defined in Article 120. The question is whether an importer has to label his name and address as of date of application of the MDR, which is May 2021. Now, if you look into the transitional provisions in Article 120, it says that there are certain requirements that are actually applicable as of date of application, which would be May next year. So these relate to post-market surveillance, to vigilance reporting, to market surveillance, and the registration of economic operators, which would include, of course, the importer. But that means that the importer, as other economic operators, like the manufacturer, like the European representative, if there is one, have to register in Eudamed once this is possible. But it does not state that the importer has to label legacy devices with his name and address. Obviously, once a product will be placed on the market in full compliance with the MDR, referring to an MDR-CE certificate, or if this is a Class 1 device that, as of date of application, will need to be in compliance with the MDR, then the obligation to label those products with the name and address of the importer fully becomes applicable. The second question relates to post-market clinical follow-up activities. The question was whether it makes sense or whether it's permissible to use surveys to collect this PMCF data, and whether it is an option to focus when collecting this data on areas or geographies in this world where the specific product is used very frequently. Now, I think that's a smart idea, because if you do that, then you can collect more data in a shorter time. But of course, you need to pay attention to the fact that the use of your device in this specific geography is representative of the overall use of the medical device. So that, of course, goes back to the intended use, to the user population, maybe to the patient population that you have defined. The other aspect I would pay attention to is what you write in your actual PMCF plan. I mean, there I would recommend to rather take a relatively conservative approach. In other words, don't overpromise the amount of data that you will collect, because it's in the end easier to overachieve, provide more data than you originally planned, than being in a situation where you made big promises in your plan and then cannot deliver. We hope this was useful for those that raised the questions, but also for you all. Feel free to address more questions to us. We'll be happy to respond to them. Thank you.